and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. We hope you're having a fantastic morning this morning and appreciate your patience this morning as we are here with you inside of the Cafe Kubal studios, hanging out where sports truly meets that thing called life. Cafe Kubal coming to you in so many locations around Central and Upstate New York. You have the opportunity to fill your cup up right at any one of their awesome cafes, each of them with their own personality. You can head to 3501 James Street in Syracuse, as well as 401 South Salina Street in Syracuse, and where we just were this past Monday at 324 West Water Street in Syracuse, New York, at Creek Walk Commons, that just reopened about a month ago. So make sure you go out there and support local today. You also have the opportunity to go to 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, and of course to the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road to Sweetheart Corners at their drive-through location. So make sure you check out Cafe Kubal today and fill your cup up with whatever your favorite coffees are and favorite chais. I just had the lavender and vanilla chai, which was absolutely fantastic. I mix them up, so I mix and match my stuff, and I had lavender and vanilla in the chai. It was incredible, so make sure you go out and get yours today. I saved some for myself as well to have here inside of the studios, because you know me, I like to have my Cafe Kubal on more than one day, so I have that with me today, and I hope that you go out and get yours to warm you up as our weather cooled down a little bit again. So make sure you warm up right with Cafe Kubal, or you can get anything iced as well. So make sure you head out there today and support local. Appreciate you being here inside of the Cafe Kubal studios as always. Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora has the opportunity to bring you this morning a conversation with John Beilein. I've had the absolute pleasure of speaking with coaches that I have respected throughout, and I've had the opportunity, Jim Boeheim, Coach K, Roy Williams, Jay Wright, Tom Izzo, and that list goes on and on and on when we're talking about Division I men's basketball coaches. And I've wanted to talk with John Beilein for a long time now, and I was actually down at the 2013 Final Four covering that, and was not able to have a conversation there. I think we might have had a press conference or two, or they might have been going on at the same time, because Syracuse is down there, Louisville, and Wichita State. So I finally got to cross paths with John Beilein when he came back to Lemoyne, and that just happened here recently. So I will have the absolute honor and pleasure to finally be able to share with you my conversation with John Beilein, which will be happening this morning in a very special edition of Dolphin Dive, where we get to speak with the former Lemoyne head coach that still says we when he says Lemoyne. Bob Beretta and I were discussing that, the fact that he still considers Lemoyne a part of him and considers Lemoyne a we, enough to say, well, this is what we think and whatnot. So I definitely appreciate the fact that John Beilein not only came back into the community and that I got to talk with him, but also that, he has so much love for the community and so much love for Lemoyne, and definitely appreciates being here. That is a huge blessing, and it says a lot about Lemoyne and Lemoyne's effect on John Beilein. John went on to coach with Michigan and have a lot of success. He was at West Virginia, and he also, had the opportunity to be with Richmond and so on and so forth. It has a long, illustrious career as a coach, and got to go recently to the Cleveland Cavaliers as well as the Detroit Pistons. So there's definitely a lot to say about everything that's been achieved and accomplished by John Beilein, and I'm just very honored of the opportunity that Bob Beretta and Moyne College gave me to be able to speak with John, and I get to share that with you here this morning, which means a lot to me. I've been very impatient holding on to this and wanting to share it with you. So this edition of Dolphin Dive is going to feature John Beilein, and definitely looking forward to bringing that to you in just a few minutes here, where sports meets life inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. And then from there, we'll jump in to taking a look at what's going around the sports world, going on here in our community. A bunch of teams are out there getting things done and putting in their work, and we're going to discuss those teams here coming up after we have our feature with John Beilein. And then at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we will have our live draft mock draft happening with you in the moment here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, as Mike Sofka and I will be drafting while we talk with you. So very excited to do that. So Dolphin Dive first, then a dive into local athletics around our community and see how these teams are doing. And then we'll hop right into our Fantasy Football Power Hour, which happens every single Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And this edition of the Fantasy Football Power Hour will feature myself and Mike Sofka giving you our NFL mock draft, as we will be breaking down the draft and telling you who we think is going to get drafted and where in round one of the upcoming 2022 NFL draft. So plenty of great stuff coming up here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We appreciate you being here hanging out with us inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and right after this, John Beilein will be joining us here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Stay with us. In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you.
This is Jim Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
I'm George Townsend of Honda City with some good advice when buying a new car. The true cost of owning a new car is determined by the appraised value when you trade it. No vehicle appraises higher than a Honda. Next, look for low APRs and deep discounts. You also want low maintenance costs and great fuel economy. That's why my advice to you is to buy a new Honda. Looking pre-owned, visit our Honda Certified Used Car Center. Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard, Liverpool, or HondaCity-CNY.com.
It would be a pity if they don't shop at Honda City.
Our corporate purpose at Chick-fil-A is to glorify God by being faithful stewards of all that's entrusted to us and to positively influence all those who come in contact with Chick-fil-A. And what became increasingly clear from our success in Cicero is that people love Chick-fil-A. And also, I think we recognize that, we had a great opportunity to grow the brand and grow our platform. I felt incredibly grateful when I was selected to be a Chick-fil-A operator. I think what it's meant for me, what I've come to realize on a very deep level is that this is a calling for me. It's not a career. It's not a job. The Lord called me to be a Chick-fil-A operator and to use these restaurants to glorify Him and to positively influence other people. I'm blessed. I'm very blessed.
head to Chick-fil-A Clay on 3974 State Route 31 in Liverpool, New York. This is Dan Tortora of Wake Up Call here with John Beilein back on Moyne College's campus. And John, welcome back.
Thank you.
And obviously this school has meant a lot to you and a lot to your time. When you reflect on Moyne and being a part of the Dolphins, what are the things that stick out the most?
Oh, I think there was such a closeness with everybody here, the relationships with my fellow faculty, staff, coaching staffs, the students. We had a very young family, and we felt Moyne made it one big family. So those years we worked so hard just to try and have these opportunities that I was given later on. But to be honest with you, if I was still coaching, it's the way that people are treating each other. We haven't lost our mission at Moyne of being this incredibly great Jesuit institution, and also one that really prides itself in having true student athletes.
When you look at your time coaching and everything that you took away from here as you advanced forward, you coached at the high school level, community college level, here at Moyne, then Canisius, Richmond, West Virginia, Michigan. Going through all of that time period, being a collegiate basketball coach, what are some of the pillars that you thought made you successful?
I think the biggest thing is what I learned right here. You teach that from your parents, but integrity is the biggest thing that I learned here from my Uncle Tom Nyland. Is that this is the one pillar you can build everything off of, and just trying to do the next right thing every day, just all of a sudden grows into this huge tree that it builds a brand for you and those around you that people have great respect for. And I think that's what I learned here, and I hope it's carried over.
And not only with yourself, but with Pat and knowing his coaching history and what he's done in his time, what did you impart on him? I know you've come back here when he was coaching here and would come to see some games, and obviously have always been very supportive of his road, but just what you could say you've seen from him as a coach.
Yeah, that was a great period when he was coaching here. I'm coaching in Michigan. We're following each other's games, which was, my wife never had a night off as far as watching a game and the stress of trying to have us both be successful. But I mean, the one year he's in the Elite Eight, we're in the Final Four, and God certainly blessed us through all of that. But to have him come in here and be a coach after that is so, it's just so gratifying to know that things worked out in that respect for him, like it did for me. Actually, he was a much better coach here than I was. We only went to the NCAA tournament one time when I was here in 9 years. I think he went 2 or 3 times in the 5 years he was here.
When you come back to speak here today at Moyne and here in 2022, what did you really want to get across to the student athletes, to the student body as a whole, as they sat here and took in the information from you?
Oh, I hope that I tried to tell them as many mistakes that I made, or mistakes I see people make, and how important it is that they learn from mistakes. We're all going to make them. It's not a perfect world. Nobody's perfect. And I hope today that was the biggest message, that have an attitude of gratitude, learn from adversity, grow your relationships, and find out more about yourself so that you can lead others as well.
A lot of people talk about their strengths and their positives, their accolades. You said you tried to talk about as many mistakes as you made.
Yeah.
What have you learned from those mistakes?
That I've learned through God, that's God's will many times, and that it leads you to something greater afterwards. That every time I looked at a mistake, it was like 2 or 3 years later, and that same situation came up again. I said, I'm not doing that again. And sometimes it was incredible how successful the second time was compared to the little mistake that happened earlier. So take it for what it is and learn from it.
when we see all the work that you did here in Central and Upstate New York, and then to move on to Michigan, you and I didn't get to speak back in 2013, but I was there at that Final Four, and I still remember Mitch McGarry and his ability to, as soon as the ball went into the high post, he was a danger. You had an incredible team then. What do you remember of your moments at Michigan, and just what you could say about that?
Yeah, I mean, that was a storybook type of situation where you come in there, you're trying to rebuild a once proud program, and we were able to accomplish so many things because of the great people there. I built new facilities and really took basketball into another level from where it had been, and because of support, not necessarily coaching, but it was that to get people on board with one mission, we were able to do so many things that has really helped the university. And we just want, and really, we wanted to be as great, have that basketball program be as great as the university, and that's hard to do.
You know what it's like to have success at the Division I level, and you know what it takes at the Division I level. What does Lemoyne show you as a Division II school in basketball and in general? That are there similarities? Do you see that they have the ability to potentially be a power?
It's all relative. It really is, whether you're in Division I or II or III. If you put the support into it and really back it in every way that you can accomplish anything. There's such a transition going through college athletics right now that this is a great time to be successful if you put your priorities in athletics in the right spots, and understand it's important to a college's brand, to the success of its students and its student athletes overall.
You said by division it's relative, and we see name, image, and likeness now, which you didn't have to deal with, transfer portal as well. What's your advice to a coaching staff that has to deal with re-recruiting all the players they have, recruiting new players, and then trying to balance the name, image, and likeness side of it?
I think culture, teaching a positive culture, is more important than ever right now, because people will transfer like crazy if they don't know the core values of a good culture. Culture is like an immune system. That if you have a good culture, and it gets sick, the immunities will take over and correct it. And that's what happens so many times with whether it's a portal or a guy wanting to go somewhere else, become of a name, image, and likeness package, or transferring out just to transfer because he thinks the grass is greener. So that's, I think, the biggest thing that I would say. X's and O's are important. Recruiting is important. Your culture is more important than both.
Digging roots here in Central and Upstate New York, and then advancing to places like Michigan, and then going on to the NBA and coaching there. What can you say about what you took with you kind of in the backpack of life from here to help you there? Because you've been so successful as you've moved forward, and you've only gone up the ranks, and you've been one of the coaches that has not only commanded success and commanded a positive, your reputation speaks for you. And I feel that to be a coach in this world with over 300 Division I teams, and you look at Division II, Division III, there's so much out there in the coaching realm, yet your name carries a positive weight with it. What do you think? Why do you think that is? And what from here did you take?
Yeah, I think you basically learned the fundamentals of coaching, the fundamentals of relationships building, the fundamentals of building a culture. And when you have those things, you can really grow in so many different ways. And if you don't have those fundamentals, I don't care what level you are, and we had to have them here. It was different in the 80s, and you had to find ways to make it work without a lot of help, other than the substance that this college brings to every student, to every coach, to every faculty member.
You're wearing the Dolphin on your chest. What does it mean, in your opinion, to be a Dolphin?
I mean, it's special from the standpoint you add the small college atmosphere and then the Jesuit influence and the Catholic.
You see Roy Williams stepping away, Coach K, Jay Wright.
Yeah.
How are you looking at the world of college basketball now as we have seen these incredible coaches, you included, now no longer their coaching teams?
I mean, I'm sure we all stepped away for different reasons, but there's a time right now in college basketball that there's got to be a changeover to the new guard, and it's always been challenging. Right now, there's new 40s or 50s, they would probably navigate through. But there's a time to pass the torch on to someone else, and that's how I felt. I felt that college basketball at that time, I'd done it for 45 straight years. How many people do that for 45 straight years and say, hey, come give me more, right? So it was time for a change for me, but it's the lay of the land right now, and the new guys, I'm sure they'll adapt and do well.
Final note for you, like you said, over 4 decades, what are the ingredients to success, in your opinion, of being a successful coach and leader and an extension of your student athletes family?
Yeah, I think what I talked about here today with the Lemoyne students, there's many things, but the biggest thing right now is that relationships and your culture are so important if you want to build a great program, that you have to stay on top of everything. You have to follow the spirit of the rules and really wear a lot of hats to make sure, as a coach, as a leader, you're ready to adapt. You know, leadership is it's not a position, it's a lifestyle. And as you say, it's just, I'm only a leader when I'm on the practice court. That's erroneous. I'm a leader with everything that I do. Everybody's watching me. I go to church, people are probably watching. What I do when I'm in the grocery store, people could be watching you. So that's what's important. When you live that life, right, as a leader today, you have to know that it's more than just performance-based with X's and O's. There's a lot more to it.
Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Campground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Campground and where your dog will be staying, in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Campground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. 4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9campground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and campground spelled with a K.com. K9campground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to K9 Campground.
PB&J's Lunchbox, the food truck that you love finding all throughout Central and Upstate New York, now has a street-side cafe. So when you're craving their traditional favorites as well as their out-of-box amazing menu items, you can now head to 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. Located just minutes from the highway, the Thruway, Destiny USA, and Onondaga Lake Parkway, PB&J's Lunchbox Street-Side Cafe is there for you Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner all throughout the day. Get breakfast for dinner, dinner for lunch, whatever you fancy, including their award-winning grilled peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Find them at 663 Old Liverpool Road in Liverpool, New York. PB&J's Lunchbox, where we love to know what's in your lunchbox. As a patient, what do we want? To be cared for, to be listened to, and to have someone walk us through the process on our path to victory. Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics does all of those things beautifully, with Dr. Mark Petropoli leading the team on 791 West Genesee Street in Skaneateles, New York, located minutes from beautiful Skaneateles Lake. Whatever your injury may be from head to toe, preventative care, rehab, physical therapy, laser therapy, and surgery are all available at Victory Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, where they care about us, they listen to us, and they understand that everyone's path to victory is a little bit different. Let them help you on yours by calling 315-685-7544 to make your appointment today. That's 315-685-7544. And find out more information at victorysportsmedicine.com. And a welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. Happy to be hanging out with you where sports meets that thing called life, and hope you're having a fantastic morning. This morning, we just got to air our special with John Beilein here inside of MonPazPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', bringing you the list of topics for the day and get to celebrate John Beilein being a part of the broadcast. First time I ever got to speak with John Beilein, and I am so honored and privileged to be able to share that with you. So I want to thank John for all of the work that he did at Lemoyne and for the coach that he has continued to be. I mean, he has definitely uplifted the Central and Upstate New York community, going from Lemoyne and continuing to find success in so many different places. And just to be, the person that he has been in the coaching world has been absolutely tremendous. And so I want to thank John Beilein for everything, for coming back here, for his hard work, dedication, and determination, and for, representing Central and Upstate New York well, because of the fact that, he's really become a part of everything that, he's become a part of the history. He coached at Canisius, Richmond, West Virginia, and Michigan after the fact, and he was a Big Ten coach of the year in 2013-14. I did obviously mention the fact he was with the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Detroit Pistons when he was with Michigan for many a season, went to the NCAA tournament more often than not, reached the NCAA tournament Final Four twice in his time there, including in the 2017-18 season, his second to last season. And then, of course, in the 2012-13 season when I was there on site on location in Atlanta, Georgia, at the old Georgia Dome, where they used to have all of their opportunities there with the Atlanta Falcons, and when the tournament came in and whatnot, now they have the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So big ups to John Beilein for everything he did in Michigan, and obviously in his time in West Virginia, went to the NCAA tournament twice out of 5 seasons there, and in his final season at West Virginia was the NIT champion. And then in Richmond, brought the team to the NCAA tournament in one of his 5 seasons there, and also brought Canisius to the NCAA tournament. So everywhere that he went in Division I men's basketball, he brought them to the NCAA tournament at least once for Canisius, Richmond, West Virginia, and Michigan. And of course, like I said before that, he had worked in a bunch of different areas of the high school world, the community college world, and then coming to Le Moyne and building success at Le Moyne and wearing Le Moyne on his chest, which I definitely appreciate it. Literally wearing Le Moyne on his chest, as we saw in the video that I just got to share with you in my conversation with John Beilein. So much appreciation for John, and many thanks for him taking the time to be a part of the broadcast and to be here with me. And, for me to finally have the opportunity to be able to share some time with John Beilein. It's somebody that I've wanted to talk to for a while now, a long time, and I'm happy that, after these years of wanting the opportunity to do so, that we were able to cross paths and not only cross those paths, but to have people like Bob Beretta set up such an opportunity. So a big thanks to Bob for helping that to come about and come to life, and appreciate it so very much. With that being said, I do want to take a jump into what's going on around the sports world here in Central and Upstate New York. And so, taking a look at how things are going in this community, and definitely want to share that with you here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life, as we take a look here at everything that's been going on. Many teams involved, and I've had the opportunity to speak with a bunch of these teams, and of course I appreciate them as always, all of the teams here. So I do want to give a shout out to the teams that that are in contention right now and that are out there doing their thing and fighting, and obviously all the teams in Central and Upstate New York. Watertown has an overall record of 6-1 in men's lacrosse, and then we have Carthage at 7-3, Indian River 5-5, General Brown 4-2, South Jefferson 3-7, the Thousand Islands 2-9, Lowville 1-6 this season. And then taking a look at this here, Christian Brothers Academy 6 and Cazenovia 5-2, Skinny Atlas 7-3, Tully Fabius Pompey 4-5, Jordan Elbridge 3-5, Lafayette Onondaga 2-4. Taking a look at some of these pieces here, and looking at the seasons going on for boys lacrosse in our community. And I also want to take a look at Auburn 6-3, Central Square 6-2. 4-4, Syracuse 6-2, Oswego 1-7, Cortland 0-7, Baldwinsville 8-0, Fulton 3-5, JD 3-2, East Syracuse Manoa 5-3. Taking a look at boys lacrosse around the community this season of 2021-2022. New Hartford leading the charge in the TVL at 6-2. Whitesboro, Rome Free Academy 2-4. Holland Patton 1-5. Utica Proctor 0-6. Vernon Verona Sherrill 0-3 on the season, and that is all for the men's lacrosse side of things. And then taking a look at boys lacrosse. For girls lacrosse, to take a look at how they have been doing this season, we'll take a start here in the FL Conference. And South Jefferson at 6-1 for girls lacrosse here in our community. Watertown 4-3, Indian River 5-2, Carthage 3-5, General Brown 2-5, Watertown IHC 1-6, and then in the OHSL Conference we have Marcellus in the American at 6-1, West Hill 7-2. This is for girls lacrosse in our community. Christian Brothers Academy 3-5, Homer 6-1, Chittenango Bishop Grimes 5-2, Mexico 0-7. Cazenovia in the National Division of the OHSL. Cazenovia 4-4, Lafayette 1-5, Skinny Atlas 5-2, Jordan Elbridge 1-5, and Tully Fabius Pompey 2-5. In the SCAC, we have for girls lacrosse, Auburn is 6-4 in the Empire 1, Syracuse 2-5, Central Square 5-3. East Syracuse Manoa 0-8. That's overall. In the Empire 2, JD is 5-2. Oswego 4-5. Fulton 5-5. Cortland 1-3. Beeville in the Metro of the SCAC Beeville is 6-0 in girls lacrosse. Fayetteville Manly is 6-2. West Jenny 7-3. CNS 5-3. And Liverpool 4-4 this season in a very exciting Central there. And then we have the TVL New Hartford for girls lacrosse, 4-2 overall. Rome Free Academy 3-2. Clinton 4-1. Whitesboro 2-4. And Vernon, Verona, Sherrill 0-5. So that's what it looks like currently as we break everything down for lacrosse here for boys and girls lacrosse in our community. And I want to give a great big shout out to everybody that's competing. We've had the opportunity to speak with tennis teams. We've had the opportunity to speak with lacrosse teams here, and obviously baseball and softball and different things that are going on in our community. I definitely want to give some big ups to boys and girls lacrosse, as I know there's some heated battles going on, and very excited to see everything that's coming up here in the grand scheme of things. And we will be taking a look at the sports around the community in general here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. As you know, we have our Liverpool athletics show with the Warriors sports programs, student athletes and coaches and administration exclusively at Avicoli's every single month on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York. And then we are out at Beeville area with Pizza Man Pub and having our Baldwinsville Bees athletic programs there with us and supporting them with the community over at Pizza Man Pub on 50 Oswego Street throughout the year in Baldwinsville. And we had the girls lacrosse team going into their season here recently. And so a shout out to the success of the Baldwinsville Bees girls lacrosse team. And of course, we have had West Jenny out at the Wildcat for, I believe, about 5 years now. We've been at the Wildcat Sports Pub with West Genesee Athletics for the Wildcats on 3680 Milton Avenue in Camillus, New York. So always happy to have them, and we've had the CNS North Stars out with us as well as the CBA Brothers. So a lot of great stuff in our community, and we mentioned all those teams as I went through boys and girls lacrosse and gave you kind of an update on how things are going on. So a big time shout out to all of them. And as we are here with Dolphin Time every single Wednesday to start off the show at 9 a.m. Eastern Time, it's only fair to speak on how those Dolphins are doing overall. So we take a look at the baseball schedule. The team is 20-17 in the conference of the NE10. They are 9-5. They're 10-1 at home, 8-10 on the road, 2-6 on neutral ground. And we take a look at what is to come here, and they're going to have an opportunity here coming up against American International today at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time at Dick Rockwell Field. And then they'll be on the road for an April 30th doubleheader and then a May 1st doubleheader, both against Adelphi inside of the NE10. And then they'll be back home at Dick Rockwell Field to finish things up in the regular season on May 5th and May 6th, a Thursday and Friday doubleheaders against Pace University. Thursday, May 5th at noon and 3, and May 6th, Friday at noon and 3 as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up, and a winning record right now for the baseball team with the Moyne College Dolphins. Taking a look at the softball side of things and staying there on the diamond, we take a look at their season: 18-20, 10-12 inside of the conference, 2-6 at home, 10-10 on the road, playing most of their games away from home, 6-4 on neutral ground for the softball team. And we take a look at the softball team here and what they have coming on. They split with Bentley here recently at the softball complex at Lemoyne. We're able to split with them, won 2-1 in 8 innings, and then lost 2-0. And that came yesterday on April 26th. This Friday, they'll be in action at the softball complex with a doubleheader at noon and 2 against Adelphi. And then they'll be home on Saturday, April 30th, for a doubleheader against Pace at noon and 2 as well, with an opportunity to get back on the winning side of things with an overall winning record for the softball team for Moyne College. Beyond that, taking a look at the men's golf side of things, having a lot of success this season. The men's golf team at Moyne College, taking a look how things have shaken out here. So we are looking at where they currently are, and they'll have an opportunity. Well, they will be heading to the NCAA regional here, and I think they will be hosting that regional in Victor, New York, which is close to Rochester. And so that That was supposed to be, or I'm sorry, they already played the regional piece here for men's golf, but they will have an opportunity to continue things on for their men's golf season, men's and women's golf, coached by Joe Tesori, so I want to give him a big-time shout-out. I want to go on the men's tennis side of things. They're 19-1. They've won 19 straight after losing their first match. 7-0 in the NE10, 7-0 at home, 12-1 on the road, and they haven't played on neutral ground yet. A 95% winning percentage, and took down Southern New Hampshire University on Friday, April 22nd. This past Friday at Skytop, I was there for that, winning that 6-1. They'll head to the NE10 Conference Championship semis against Franklin Pierce, and that will be tomorrow, April 28th, on Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So excited to see that for men's tennis. And on the women's tennis side of things, I want to make a note here for them as well. A 13-5 record, a 72.2% winning percentage, 10-0 in the NE10, 7-3 at home, 6-2 on the road. Have not played on neutral ground, and they did a fantastic job of what they've done up to this point. Both teams, men's and women's side, coached by Jeff Lonzak, who was on the show for Dolphin Dive a couple weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago today. You can go back and watch that on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. It'll also be added to our page for Lemoyne on Facebook, or pardon me, on wakeupcalldt.com. You'll be able to see that on the Lemoyne tab, so make sure that you check that out. But a big time shout out to both teams. They're 19-1 and 13-5, which means that they have an overall record of 32-6 between the two teams, which is incredible. Big shout out to Jeff Lonzak for everything that he's done, and to Lemoyne in general for all that they've done to be successful. I want to go to the women's lacrosse side of things. They have a game today, and I spent this Monday at Cafe Kubal, 324 West Water Street in downtown Syracuse, a few minutes from Moyne College. Spent that with the head coach of the women's lacrosse team at Lemoyne, who's had tremendous success in her time at Lemoyne, and that being the wonderful head coach and her staff. Speaking here on the fantastic opportunity that I had with Liz Bevel to sit down with her. The team's 11-4. They have a 73.3% winning percentage. They are 8-3 in the NE10. They've won 2 in a row, 6-2 at home, 4-2 on the road, and 1-0 on neutral ground on the season. They have 2 games coming up before they head into the playoffs. They just defeated Bentley on Senior Day at 17-7 at home at Ted Grant Field. They'll be on the road today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, April 27th, at Southern Connecticut State, and then they'll have at Southern New Hampshire this Saturday, April 30th at 2 p.m. as well. So they'll be in Connecticut and New Hampshire before returning home and getting set for the postseason for women's lacrosse. Shout out to everything Liz Bevel and the crew are doing to be successful in women's lacrosse. In men's lacrosse, another successful season for Dan Sheehan and the group, 13-2 on the season, 86.7% winning percentage, 9-1 in the NE10, 5-1 at home, 6-0 on the road. 6-1 on the road, 2-0 on neutral ground, and they will have the opportunity to head into the NE10 Conference Championships against the winner of number 3 seeded St. Anselm and 6 seeded Southern New Hampshire, as they have already advanced due to their record and what they've been able to do this season. They did lose their final home game to Adelphi 13-7, so they'll look to avenge things and go for an NE10 championship and another run at the NCAA tournament, as they are the reigning national, not regional, not local, the reigning national champion team, the Lemoyne men's lacrosse team, with Dan Sheehan, that being his 6th national championship at Lemoyne, and they will have an opportunity to compete as they step forward here with a record of 13-2 and heading into the NE10 tournament. So very excited for the Lemoyne athletic programs and everything that they have been doing, and a big shout out to all of the teams throughout our community. Ending with lacrosse was fitting, as we talked about boys and girls lacrosse in our community of Central and Upstate New York, with fantastic players that I've been able to talk with from CNS, as well as Liverpool, Beeville, and West Jenny, and of course many all throughout our community. So a big shout out to Central and Upstate New York for what they've done to build this fantastic talent and to continue to see this talent grow and blossom when they head off to Moyne College. So big congratulations to all the teams that we mentioned and all the teams that we will be talking about. A big shout out to all of you and to all of our spring sports. Didn't mean to forget anybody, so big shout out and much love to every single spring sport out there. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we'll wrap up today's broadcast of this hour of Wake Up Call and jump into our Fantasy Football Power Hour as Mike Sofka is going to be joining me for the opportunity to give our 2022 NFL Mock Draft Round 1 as we pick 1 through 32 with you here where sports meets life on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. So hang out with us inside of the Cafe Kubal studios. We will be back momentarily to share this opportunity with you.
Why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some... Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
Cafe Kubal offers same-day local delivery of our products, offering no delivery charge for Onondaga County. Shop cafekubal.com for fresh roasted coffee beans, cold brew, travel mugs, and all your essential Cafe Kubal needs. Cafe Kubal, coffee for the soul.
This is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating. Find them at 201 Old 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, open Monday through Saturday in-store and all the time online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, you can order all throughout the country at maandpaspopcorn.com. And remember to get your tins, which have in-store half-price refills forever. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory, available to you for fundraising and all of your events by calling 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you? The Millhouse Market, located on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York, is worth the drive every time. Make sure you make your way out to the Millhouse Market today and utilize their app at the Google Play or Apple App Store for the Millhouse Market. We appreciate you so very much at Millhouse for all that you do, ingrained in our community and ingrained in our taste buds. The Millhouse Market has fantastic opportunities for you to connect with the community, including in their general store with local products from local companies, paying it forward and helping the community to advance with all of our wonderful people working together. And of course, their sandwiches are named after the families that helped to settle today's Pulaski as they continue to pay tribute to where we have been and where we're going. So a big thanks to the wonderful people at the Millhouse Market, led by Rebecca Elfert, the owner and operator, and we appreciate her so very much. So a big thanks to the Millhouse Market for all that they do on 3790 New York 13 in Pulaski, New York. With that being said, welcome back here inside of the Cafe Kubal Studios, where sports meets that thing called life. We appreciate you being here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. We're going to end this video and we're going to start a new one so that we can have our Fantasy Football Power Hour, as we always do every single Wednesday. As you know, our videos stay the same Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. We keep that 2-hour window for you, all within one video stream. And on Wednesdays, we cut it from 1 hour to the second hour being the Fantasy Football Power Hour. And the reason why we do two separate videos is because our fantasy football content is we want to make it as accessible as we possibly can for you, because we know that you'll go back to these videos maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, or a week ago, whatever it may be, and you'll have to grab some information, grab it quickly. We want to make sure we can get you to our fantasy football content. So we always have our individual videos for the fantasy football side of things, so that library is accessible to you easily on wakeupcalldt.com and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. So with that being said, we will take a step aside and we will come back on YouTube and Facebook. For those of you listening on MixLR, you're going to continue to listen right here on mixlr.com/wakeupcall.